Hi, everybody. It's Deb Chamberlin again with the Awakened Artist Soul Tuning Session, back with Ilene Angel because we just couldn't stop talking. So I said, hold on, I'm going to hit the record button. So hi, Ilene. And if you haven't seen the first video that Ilene and I did, please go watch it because Ilene talks about her life as an artist, how she came to be a successful musician and a published author, blogger, writer for Huffington Post for many. How many years did you do the Huffington Post?
9 years.
So we're back today to talk about, can you hold it in front of the camera?
I can and I will.
Ilene Angel's book, How to Calm the Hell Down and Be Happy. And they lift it up a little bit. A practical wisdom from a recovering worrier. Oh, you're not a worrier, Ilene. Come on. I know, so am I. So what is this book about, and how or why did you come to write this book? And give it to us in a nutshell.
Okay, so in a nutshell, for as calm as my demeanor is, I had a lot of people telling me I really needed to calm the hell down. And my answer was, don't you think I would if I could? Like, don't you think? So I decided that I was going to try out everything that is commonly recommended to relieve anxiety and stress.
Except for illegal drugs and stuff like that, right?
Right. Yes. But I mean, like all the things
Healthy
that are
things,
commonly
right.
recommended to, relieve stress and anxiety. And I was going to give my take on exactly what worked and what didn't. And so it started out kind of on that level, basically, of trying external things and seeing if any of them worked. And what happened eventually was that I realized that it took a more serious turn. And even though this was originally, the book was kind of a lark for me, it actually became a serious endeavor because I still needed to calm the hell down. And I decided that I was going to actually be serious about it. And what I realized was that you could do all the things that you wanted to. You could light a scented candle. You could try, myriad things.
I have one going right there.
You can. And it's lovely. And maybe some of them will even
It's called sage, and it smells like a spa in here right now. Go ahead.
Isn't that what you use to get the bad whatever juju out of your
Yeah, but this is like the spa kind of sage. Oh, it's good.
Very nice. I have none of that going. Yeah, and so what I realized was that you could try all of these things and you could get some modicum of relief, but in order for anything to have lasting and impactful change in terms of calming down, it mattered what I believed about the world and about life, and your basic outlook in the world my outlook could not be that it was just fraught with danger and something always out to get me, and I could never achieve any kind of peace that way. Mm-hmm. So I started really thinking about what would I need to believe to be calm. Like, what is it I'd have to believe about the world, about life, about how things worked? What would I need to believe in order to have calm in my life and peace and stop worrying about everything?
That was one of the big things in your book that stuck out to me. Now, I know that, I do that with people all the time when I coach people, right? But for me to read that, somebody else saying that, I don't know, it hit me at the right time. I was like, yeah, change my worldviews. And it just made me again realize that's so important. That's so powerful just to be able to change your worldview. But you can't just say, oh, just change your worldview. That's like a whole thing, right? Okay, go ahead.
No. So yeah, I mean, even when you're saying that, I don't remember, when I was going out to play as a kid, I don't remember my mother saying, "Have fun, dear."
Yeah, right. Oh no. Be careful.
Be careful. Right. Exactly. Be careful. And eventually the message I got was that there was something to fear out there. Out the front door, danger lurked. Mm-hmm. And so, so I think that all of us have underlying beliefs that we don't even realize that we have until you stop and ask yourself, when you look at the results that you have yielded in your life, based on that, what do you believe? What do you believe about the world, about you, about love, about money, about everything
that you worry about?
Right. That everything that you worry about. And then the question, I ask myself, is this true?
Yeah. Right.
Is it true? I mean, I know, I know I believe this, but
Is
is
it
it
ultimately true? Right. Is our truth the truth, right?
right?
The
And a
truth.
lot of times, because I think, how people say, well, that's just the way it is, or that's just the way the world works, right, for you.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's sort of like, well, it doesn't even matter if it's true. Does it serve you to believe that?
Right.
Like
So why did you write this book then? Why did you write the book?
um I'll tell you why. I wrote it aside from the fact that it really was me going through and having this journey and epiphany. I I feel like every time I would read, I've read a lot of books and listened to a lot of audio stuff and anything I thought would help me with this. And I felt like a lot of the people, um, this will sound terrible, but I felt like everybody had like this kind of false sense of condescending, look, I know how to calm down and I'm going to tell you and you're going to, and I just wanted somebody who would be real like me and, roll their eyes at, oh my God, really? And and what about those of us who can't, I love Elizabeth Gilbert, but I can't afford to put my stuff in storage and travel the world and go to an ashram and eat pasta in Italy and, and have any kind of epiphany like that. I can't, that like I have responsibilities, but I felt like that couldn't speak to me because I couldn't do that
Yeah.
physically. I have responsibilities and, financial concerns that just would not afford me that opportunity. And so my feeling was, well, who's going to speak to me about this? And so I felt like if I'm having that, then I want to be able to say to somebody else, look, I get it. I get that, maybe you have to work 2 jobs and you've got, kids and parents and whatever things that are pulling on you. How do you find peace within that?
I have a pile of books. A pile. I'm looking at my pile of books, and I have a whole bunch on my Kindle on my phone app.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up yours 2 weeks ago and read it in like 3 days, in like 3 different sittings. And I really loved it. So it's a really fun read. It's an easy read. You know what I love about it? The chapters are really short. I love short chapters. I feel like, wow, I'm really getting through this book. So that was really smart of you. So one of the questions that came up for me while I was reading your book is, how do you meditate? How do you meditate? Like, can you describe what you do?
Yeah, I mean, I can actually. I have tried many different kinds, as I talk about in the book. Like for years, I tried to, people talk about quieting the mind, and my mind doesn't shut up. When I finally was introduced to transcendental meditation, affectionately known as TM, that is what worked for me personally the best. So for me, it's 20 minutes of closing my eyes and hearing the mantra over and over again in my mind. And so, and just sort of noticing, when the thing about, at least for TM, it's sort of like, you're not shutting anything down. Your brain is always going to be firing. So you're always going to have thoughts. Like stuff is always just going to pop in and out. And it's just, you notice it and you go, it's sort of like for me, if you notice your car is drifting out of your lane, and you're like, oh shoot, and you just go
Yeah.
back, steer it back to
Yeah.
your lane. You don't yell at it, you don't
Yeah.
yell, like
Good. I love
and
that. I love that.
it's like, even if I consider it like a bad,
A bad session.
bad session, I open my eyes and look at the clock and go, really? 20 minutes is that long? But but even so, I'm still the rest of my day
I know.
more calm and centered,
I
and
know.
still solutions come to. It's a really strange thing, but I think it's just the most incredible gift you can give yourself, and it helps like problem solve. Like ideas will come to me, and
Yeah.
solutions for things will come to me,
Clears the mind.
when I don't do that.
I wanted to talk about some of your main takeaways from the book.
Yes.
I loved your first chapter. I jumped right in and loved it. And to me, the main point in that beginning was, look, you can do anything. You can try to be successful. You can try to be rich. You can try to be famous. You can try to be prolific. But if you're not willing, you have nothing. Willingness is the key that unlocks the door to everything, right? So we want to talk about willingness.
Yeah, I do. That was kind of an epiphany for me too. I was I know I talked about it in the book. I like went to a service at like a spiritual center, and this, the preacher was very charismatic, and he was like asking everybody, like, "Will you be healed?" And everybody's like, "Yes," and then he'd say, "When?" "Now," and it was like this whole thing, and I was like observing this, going, like, why is he asking? Like, didn't come there and want to be like, don't we all want to be happier? Don't we all want to be more successful, want to be calmer, want to be like all of these things? And then I really thought about it, and I'm like, you can like want stuff from today till tomorrow, but if you aren't willing to either receive it or to do whatever it's going to take to have what it is you say you have, then you have nothing. Like, so if if I say that I want to be, let's say I'm saying I want to be calm as the example.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not willing to let go of this really familiar feeling of stress and worry and anxiety, then it doesn't matter what I
Right.
want. There's like the first thing that you have to sacrifice is your old story about why you think you can't have whatever it is you say you want. So it's like, we have so much invested in our stuff, in our stories, and what we tell ourselves
Yeah.
about everything.
Because our identity is formed around those things.
Right. And exactly. It's like, who am I let's say I have, an ailment, like I have had debilitating migraines for my entire life. And it's like, who am I without a migraine?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
So it's sort of like, that, like, what are you willing
To let go of.
for?
It's really good. It's really, really good. I love the phrase ready, willing, and able. And I always take ready to mean, are you ready to let go of that story?
Right.
And then are you willing to think about a new story and willing to actually let one go and grab the other, like a trapeze flyer? You got to let go of that first bar,
Because
fly through the air.
well, the other thing too is we have so much invested in being right that
Mm-hmm.
it's like, are you willing to let go of your story about how somebody wronged you, or about how this happened to you, or like, are you willing to let go of that to have what you really want?
Yeah. My favorite quote is, you can either be right or happy. You get to pick one.
Exactly.
Here's one. So another takeaway from your book that I love, obviously, Awakened Artist, is about living life consciously, like waking up. In order to be happy, you kind of have to wake up, right?
Like I think most of us go about our days really unconsciously. We are a society that is just living on automatic pilot, where we think things happen to us, and we think, that our set of circumstances has nothing to do with us, pretty much, and it's waking up and saying, okay, like realizing that whatever the landscape of your life looks like right at this moment is a direct result of what you think, of what you believe, of what you say, and of what you do, of those four things. And that if you change any one of those four things, your life is going to change. And it has to, because there's just cause and
Right.
cause and effect. And
Right.
it's like, so if I think something different, and I believe, because most of the results that we have are out of habit, out of the habit of what we tell ourselves or what we say or what we do, or every single day.
So how would your book be supportive or inspiring for creative people and artists?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it gives some interesting tools with which to, like, free yourself up to maybe consider yourself in a different way than you have been, or to try something different. I think that the other part of it, not the happy part of the book, as opposed to the calming down part, is that we need to do things that nourish our soul, that inspire and excite us, and that we're passionate about. And I think a lot of us, maybe non-artists more so than artists, have put all of that away someplace as not something they're allowed to do. And I don't think you can be truly happy so unless you're doing stuff that you love. I mean, something brings you joy. Something.
we are so used to living in a someday world, someday, someday, someday. And I really think that artists are here now, right here, right now, to create and co-create
Right.
more love, more joy, more peace, more acceptance, right? Compassion right now with everything we do, with everything we create, with everything we put out on the airwaves, on the screens, on the pages right now. And I think artists would love your book because it's funny, it's fun, it's lighthearted, and it reconnects us to our hearts, to our souls, to our bigger visions for our lives. And it reminds us, just do it now. Like, just live now, live the essence that you want to put out in the world, that you want to experience coming back to you.
Exactly. And the thing is that whether you choose to be lighthearted or serious, or whether you choose to follow your passion or not follow your passion, your life is still going by. Whatever you're doing right this moment, and you're trading, whatever you do today, you're trading a day of your life for that.
That's right.
So wouldn't it behoove you to do something that you want? And that's for artists as well as people who don't consider themselves artists. But our life is our art. I mean,
well, I think of people, I call them creatives, people who are not just going through life like a pinball machine reacting, or bumper cars reacting, but people who are creating their life, like your life is your blank canvas. Like the artist creates a vision of what they want to paint on the canvas. That's how we create our lives. We got X amount of days. We don't know how many they are.
Exactly. And they're going to go by regardless of how you choose to spend them.
That's right.
So, it's back to that whole willingness.
It is.
And what are you creating? What are you creating with your life?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you be willing to do another one at some point and talk about your songs and play and take your laptop into your living room and play a song or two?
I could do that.
So we'll do that.
Yes.
Next time.
Great. Awesome.
Okay. So is there any closing words you have before you hold the book up to the camera one more time?
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me.
You're welcome.
And thank whoever is watching. Thank you for listening and
spending
today with us. That's great. I hope you find something of value here.
And they can find your book on Amazon.
Yeah, they can find this lovely gem, How to Calm the Hell Down and Be Happy, on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble, Apple for downloads, both. So it's available digitally and hard copy.
Yeah, I have it on my Kindle.
So
awesome. Okay, and please share this video with anyone you want that you want to inspire. And there's so much more we haven't talked about still. I can't. There's so many things. So we'll be back. So, all right. Love you, Ilene. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye. Now calm the hell down and be happy.